All right, so we are entering Module 8, and this is the last module besides your Part 1 exam of multiple choice and your Part 2 exam, which is an essay. All right. You don't have an assignment due for 8.01 and 8.02. These are just lessons about the colonial period. And again, go through those. These are some literary terms and some things that you'll see throughout the play that you are going to read, The Crucible, as you are going through this module. All right. Make sure you are doing your best. This is the last module, again, besides the two-part final exam. So make sure you are doing your best and that you have gone back and done any zeros or retries that you have available to you. All right, so go ahead and look at the colonial period and the Great Awakening. Again, there's no assignment due for that, but you may see some information in your exam about that time period. So go ahead and just kind of take a look at those lessons and review some of the literary devices that you are going to take a look at once you get to the play. All right, so I'm talking to you about 8.03, and you're going to take a look, all right, at a speech that was given during this time. And so the lesson and the submission are in the same place. So you're just going to click on 8.03, all right, and so this is a time period that we are looking at, 1741, and Center in the Hands of an Angry God is a sermon, all right, and this is the time period that it was delivered, and we are talking about the Puritans, all right, and you are going to read about that once you get to your play, The Crucible. Mhm. Um, so what you're going to focus on for this assignment, dealing with sinners in the hands of an angry God, is imagery. All right. Imagery are those things that appeal to your taste, touch, sight, smell, or sound, or a combination of those. All right. Um, so even things that we consider like a simile or a metaphor, if it's appealing to taste, touch, sight, smell, or sound, it's imagery as well. Okay, so just because we've labeled something as personification, simile, metaphor, those things can be considered imagery as well. All right. So if I said, his eyes are like the ocean. All right. So that's a simile. All right. But it's also imagery because you can picture these maybe bluish greenish eyes, right? Okay. Um, so imagery is what you are going to focus on for this assignment. All right. You can take a couple minutes and just watch this little video about imagery. All right. So what you're going to do is it's linked here. So you're going to read, you're just going to click this, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. And you can obviously make the font larger. I would need to, but I am old. All right. So you're going to, again, take a look at this sermon. All right. If you would rather listen to the audio version or have the audio version read to you as you are following along, click right here and that'll give you the audio version. Okay. I think it's nice actually to hear it and to, be reading it as you listen to it. I think that's super helpful. All right. So we've already looked and it's already told you we're going to be looking at imagery. So as you are listening and or reading this sermon, all right, think about the images that the author, Edwards, uses. So does it appeal to taste, touch, sight, smell, sound? And this is what you're going to be addressing. So you can do this a couple ways. You can copy and paste these questions in here and put them in the comments, or you can do it on a Word or Google Doc. Give me permission for the docs, please. All right, and submit it there. Okay, notice that it says Make sure to use complete sentences and fully explain your answer to receive full credit. It also says use textual evidence. That means you need to pull quotes directly from the sermon to support your questions, your answers to numbers 1 and 2. All right. So, number one, we're looking at what are some ways that Edwards employs imagery to create a specific tone within the text. Okay, so first, you have to tell the reader what the tone is. We've worked with tone before. So, tone is the speaker's attitude toward the subject. All right, so what is the subject of the sermon? Okay, so you need to think about that. What is the subject of the sermon? How does the speaker, Jonathan Edwards, feel about the subject in this sermon? All right, and that's going to give you a tone word. And again, just Google tone words. All right, so you have to give the tone first with examples of support from that tone from the text. All right. And then you want to go back and look and see the evidence that supports that tone that uses imagery. Okay. So you said this to the tone is blank. Go back to the sermon and find specific pieces of evidence to support it. Copy and paste it right from the text. All right. That again create imagery, appeal to taste, touch, sight, smell, sound, and show that tone. All right. And then number two, do you think his use of imagery is intentional or unintentional? Fully explain why you think that. So do you think he meant to use all this imagery, or do you think it was just an accident? All right. And again, you need to go back to the text, pull out support, and then explain that support. Okay. And then you'll just submit it right here.